It's been a big week in international affairs where the United States allowed a ceasefire motion to pass at the United Nations Security Council. It's led to a rift between Benjamin Netanyahu and Joe Biden. Let's bring in Professor Michael Wesley. He's an expert in international relations and he's the Deputy Vice Chancellor Global at the University of Melbourne. Professor Wesley, thanks for your time. Where does this leave the war? The fact that the US did not veto that resolution at the UN?
I don't think it'll affect the war on the ground all that much, Kieran. I think the key of the relationship between the United States and Israel is the supply of weapons. And there is no sense in which that is particularly endangered by this particular development. What it does reflect is the growing political divide between the United States and Israel, and the willingness of the United States to allow a Security Council resolution to go through demanding a ceasefire, basically.
Indeed. And on a few other fronts, let's talk about the developments in the United States over the last 24 hours. That collapse in Baltimore, obviously at a human level, it was tragic for those concerned, has big economic implications too, a massive port. Joe Biden promising that the federal government will fund the entire rebuild. It comes, of course, just months out from the presidential election.
That's right. It really reinforces how old much of the critical infrastructure in the United States is. I mean, that bridge is now decades old. The reports coming through are that it really wasn't safe, particularly to misadventures like that. A number of experts have said that a modern bridge would not have been built to those specifications. And when critical infrastructure like that goes down, then, it can have massive effects on a national economy and for an economy the size of the United States, on the global economy as well.
Indeed. And what it does remind, I guess, as we look at that as well, the potential, and I spoke to Jim Kennedy, he's a former advisor to Bill Clinton. He was on the program during the week, and he just warned about the risk of X factors in this presidential election year, that things do come out of nowhere, and you can't predict what they are, but they can have a massive impact on how this race unfolds.
Absolutely. There are so many unknowns about this race. Whether it be the trials that Donald Trump faces, you could have something as basic as a major fall for Biden, or a massive gaffe during one of his campaign speeches, or indeed something happening internationally. One development that I'm following very closely, Kieran, is Biden's proposal to start taxing the super rich even more. It does suggest that a lot of Americans are supporting something like that. It will be a real point of demarcation between Biden and Trump. And interestingly enough, it ends, or if it gets up and if it is popular, it will end a long period of time in which taxes were seen as a bad thing, and governments that raised taxes were committing suicide. So that will be a very interesting one to watch.
Indeed. Professor Michael Wesley from the University of Melbourne. We'll talk to you soon. Have a good Easter weekend. Appreciate it.
You too. Thanks, Kieran.